Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. It is Rika-chan. Now, why is she here? Why did she come here to see me? I don't understand why she came all the way here alone, this late at night. I realized all of a sudden, she looks just like Rika-chan on the outside, but she's not her. It is just copying her appearance. It came to Mio-san, to me, and to Rika-chan. I decided to talk aggressively, on purpose, in order to work up courage before my fear crushed me down. Is that you, Rika-chan? Meep. Who else do I look like? Who else do you think I am, sir? It answers just like the Rika-chan I know. But I know it's not Rika-chan. Rika-chan wouldn't come to a place like this so late at night. I know who you are. I know you're not Rika-chan. I'm afraid you can't deceive me like you can the others. Even though you look just like her, I know you're not Rika-chan. You're not my friend, Rika Furude. Who are you? Rika looked stunned for a while. She looked as if she didn't understand what I was talking about. But she pretended like that for too long. If she really didn't know what I was talking about, she wouldn't be able to stand the silence for this long. But she kept quiet, and she finally showed her true character. He. It laughed. It laughed at me because I figured out something that was almost impossible to figure out. That it was not Rika. Who are you? It didn't answer my question. It kept laughing for a while, and then it looked straight into my eyes in a way Rika-chan never did before, and it said this: I've lived for quite a long time, but you're the first one who penetrated my disguise. I always thought you had good intuition. Very perceptive of you, but you're pretty good. He. She clearly spoke to me. The things that I was most afraid of. I was completely shocked. It's like she told me everything that could possibly scare me. I didn't want to hear any of this. It's something I can't possibly twist in a way I can comprehend. Let's just say I'm Rika for now. It's been a while since I started to call myself that. Oh, really? It's been a while, huh? How long? Not that long. It's only been about 100 years. What? What are you talking about? I'm contradicting myself. I know the person who's standing in front of me isn't Rika, but at the same time I deny its existence. As long as humans hold this kind of emotion, they can never accept unknown existences. In other words, we can never accept them. You don't have to be scared. You're in the car. I'm outside of it. It's not easy for either of us to do something to the other. I think this is a perfect distance between us. No matter how long I have lived, Rika Furude is still just a little kid. You're still stronger than me. I should be more careful than you because you could snap and jump on me any time. I realize that this creepy thing that looks just like Rika was only here to talk to me. I felt my tension fade away a little bit. But still, I don't know what she wants to talk to me about at a place like this so late at night. I am like a fish on a cutting board. There's nothing I can do other than to wait and see what's going to happen. I waited for it to make a move for a while, and then it opened its mouth again. You're afraid of something. Am I right? It uses sarcasm. Rika-chan's cute face looked uglier than ever when it smiled. I held back my fear and tried to reply firmly. Yes, thanks to you. So, what are you afraid of? You should know that better than anybody else. He 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 he. It told me earlier that we were safe from each other because one was in the car and the other was standing outside. But it's obvious that I'm the one who is being driven into a corner. While I'm talking to it, I could be being surrounded by its minions. I got scared and tried to listen to the sounds of my surroundings carefully. Don't be scared. I came here to help you. He he he. You came here to help me? Oh really? I wonder how you're going to do that. You're just sick at the moment. You need medicine. That's all. Would you be interested if I told you I brought it along? Medicine? It put its hand in its pocket and took out a small case. It opened the case and showed me what was inside. What was in there made me gasp in surprise. A syringe? It's not normal for a person to carry around a syringe. I have no idea what's going on, but what Rika-chan is holding in her hand is a syringe. There's no way I can twist that fact around. That's right. The contents of this syringe are going to help you get better. It'll help me get better, huh? I know what it is. It's the drug that killed Tomotaki-san. It's the parasite at its full strength. It'll give me the maggot disease. This is a different drug from the one that was used on Tomotaki. I promise. It giggled. It isn't the giggling that scares me. I'm scared that it admitted the cause of Tomotaki-san's death so easily. and it also admitted the direct cause of the maggot disease that Tomotaki-san died from. I know you're going to kill me in the same way he died, and that the Renan Gorgura is going to replace me. Problem solved, right? I'm not going to let you give me the shot. Well, I knew you would say that. This syringe looks very suspicious, of course. You're smarter than I thought, so what now? Are you going to gang up on me and give me the shot like you did on Tomotaki-san? Tomotaki-san's autopsy report said that he had bruises on his body that proved he was fighting against several people right before he died. That means they must have ganged up on him to give him the shot against his own will. I'd like to give you the injection by force, but it never really works. So I gave up on doing that. I decided to let you choose to take it yourself. Are you kidding me? I don't want to take that creepy shot. I thought about it many times. I thought about how I could make you take the injection. I can't force you to take it, and I can't make you agree to take it either. Then it leaves me only a choice. I have to let you choose to take it. You should know my answer already. I'm not going to walk into such an obvious trap. Well, that's what I thought you'd say. I didn't expect you to choose to take it anyway. It heaved a sigh and made a gesture as if mocking me, and smiled bitterly. It looked as if it was saying that I am a lower animal that can't understand it's being given a chance for salvation. I kind of want to say I'll take the shot on a dare, but I know that's exactly what it is intending to do. Go back to your home and tell your friends that you failed to give me this shot. I'm not going to let you beat me. In the situation that it actually is medicine meant to help us, rather than Rika just giving up completely, you could just wait, continue talking to me, so that Rena calms down, and we'll have more time to consider the option. It's at least above 0% chance of working. I'm going to fight till the end, and I'm going to seize the 1% chance of winning. And I'm going to destroy all of you. I see. Then you should try to do that. This world is going to end soon anyway. Hee 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 hee. End soon. It has nothing to do with you. A frog sitting in a well doesn't need to have any interest in the world outside, does it? Hee hee hee. At this stage of the game, it said something very dubious. Now, grantedly, Rika herself is having a mental breakdown because she actually is 100 years old at this point. She's time looping. And of course, in every single time loop, not only has she had to live an additional 100 years, but she has gotten murdered in every time loop. And it's not like we're having a straight full year for each. It's usually about a month. So 12 months in a year. I would say Rika Furude's had 1,200 deaths at this point. By the end of the series, it'll be 10 times that. So, Rika Furude also carries the Hinamizawa syndrome, but also she has the additional psychological damage of the memory of thousands and thousands of deaths that sometimes she can remember and sometimes she can't. Turns out human minds have limitations. Heck. Remember time I made a video about 3.5 years ago? It's like 13 hours long. 13.5 hours long. Spent hours and hours crying while laughing at screaming volumes. And then I just started vomiting a lot. And shaking a lot. Because turns out that much stress, more than my body is willing to handle. My bad. Lunar tries to sleep more, and be less stressed nowadays, so yay. This stage of the game, it said something very dubious. I tried hard to understand what this horrifying creature was trying to say. What are you going to do to me? Nothing. Do whatever you want. What? It's almost too easy. As far as I know, do whatever you want means ignorance or release when your enemy says it to you. At the very least, it isn't a bad thing. Or does it have another meaning? In that way, I overinterpreted the meaning of the sentence, but then it said it again. Do whatever you want. I'm not interested in this Rena Ryugu anymore. I'm going to try to get along with the next Rena Ryugu. I have to pray that the next Rena Ryugu doesn't have such good intuition. Hee hee hee. I was scared of it, like I'd be scared of a judge handing down a death sentence. I used to try really hard to fix things every time a little problem occurred, but I got tired of it. I'm not interested in this Hinamizawa anymore. I'm going to find the next Hinamizawa. But you only have this one, so I hope you live as best you can. It was telling me scary things, one after the other. This was obviously a warning of the Hinamizawa's destruction. It means the climax is coming soon. They have already prepared another Rena. When I lose to this fate, they are going to replace me with that Rena, as if nothing happened. They are very well organized. What humans are most afraid of is for their lives to lose all value. Your life becomes worthless when you're told that you have a replacement. It's like an indirect death sentence. It closed the syringe case and put it back into its pocket. I think in the manga version she slammed the syringe on the ground and then stomped on it. It turned around and started climbing up the slope. At the top it looked back and spoke without as much as an evil smile. Well, goodbye, this Rena Ryugu. I hope I can get along with the next Rena Ryugu. I shouldn't worry because I do usually get along with them. Hee hee hee. I'm not going to let you replace me with the next Rena Ryugu. I'm the only Rena Ryugu. I'm not going to let you do it. Never. Ever. I wondered if my scream was reaching it. It looked at me coldly. It looked at me as if I was just an image of the past on a TV screen. It's fun to have a conversation like this once in a while, huh? Hee hee hee. Ha ha ha. Right, Rika is also losing her mind. Understandable, though. That laughter gradually disappeared into the darkness. It disappeared into the darkness as well. I was the only one left there. I'm forsaken, and they don't care if I disappear. They told me I should struggle as much as I want, because it doesn't matter anyway. They already have a replacement. They don't need me in their Hinamizawa anymore because my intuition is too sharp. When I realized that, I noticed that this garbage dump is a perfect grave for me. Then I realized this place wouldn't work as a hideout anymore. I'd better start packing and move somewhere else. It told me to struggle as much as I want. I'm going to do just that, damn it. Damn it. I have to get ready to move out from here. I'm going to put everything back into my backpack. I have to leave here as soon as possible. The light of the flashlight wasn't enough to see by, so I turned the table lamp on. The light made things show up very clearly. When I reached my backpack, I realized something and gasped in surprise. The palm of my hand was covered with an eerie liquid. I thought I'd wiped off my sticky sweat earlier, but it wasn't my sweat. Then where did this blood come from? I realized it right away. I was scratching the mosquito bites on my neck earlier, and I scratched them until it bled. When I noticed that, I remembered the sensation, the mixture of pain and itchiness. I felt something moving near the wound on my neck, so I scratched it again to get rid of whatever it was. My hand got sticky and wet with blood again. I can't see what the things are because I don't have a mirror, but I know. They're already spreading throughout my entire body, causing the itchiness on my arms and the back of my knees. Perhaps in this circumstance, if Rika returned now and offered Rena the choice again, Rena might take her up on it. If I'd never experienced this before, I'd think I got bitten by a bad bug or something. But unfortunately, I already know what's causing this itchiness. Why? Why? I said it with hatred. Why now? Why here? It's the maggot disease, without a doubt. If I cut the veins of my arms, the dusky red gross things would flow out. But it's impossible. I didn't get any suspicious shots. But it doesn't have to be a shot. They might have put the drug in my food and I might have eaten it without noticing. I don't think they put it in the food at my house, but I used to share lunch with my friends at school. They might have put it in lunches. That Rika, who visited me just earlier, was shining the flashlight on me. So, she knew that I was scratching my neck so hard that it bled. Nevertheless, she acted like there was nothing wrong, and she told me that I wouldn't last long. Now I know why she was laughing at me in a sarcastic way. She knew that I wouldn't have much time left. It itches very badly. But I can't scratch. The more I scratch, the itchier it gets, and I'm not going to do the same thing Tomotaki-san did. Damn it, damn it, damn it. The itchiness might not be temporary. It might actually get worse. I don't know if it's going to stop soon, or if it's going to last until I die from it. I don't know anything anymore. I just have to endure the itchiness. I wiped the blood on my neck with a towel and clenched my teeth and tried to erase the desire to scratch my neck. The wound was throbbing. I wanted to scratch it so badly, but I couldn't do that. I fought back the desire, biting the end of the towel. I scratched other parts of my body really hard in order to forget about the itchiness on my neck, but it didn't really work. I just prayed for the itchiness to go away. I closed my eyes and fought back the desire. That seemed to be the best way. I let my mind go blank, breathing hard for a while. I felt like the itchiness got a little bit better. I do agree with that, though. Whether it be reacting a certain way out of severe stress, or wanting to scratch because you got like poison ivy or something, or even just having a constant ache of like a really bad tooth infection. Things like that can be overpowering. I took a deep breath and I immediately started panicking. Staying here is more dangerous than the itchiness. I have to leave here as soon as possible. I felt it while packing my stuff. I felt the end coming closer, the end that Rika told me about earlier. I assumed I could live until the end, but I might have been wrong. I might follow the same path Tomotaki-san did. Tomotaki-san took, way before the end comes. I was sweating like crazy, and it felt so nasty. I know it's not sweat, but I'm going to think that it's sweat for now. I wiped my neck with the towel and hurried to leave. This area has no streetlights, so I was scared to run fast when I could barely see. The moon lit up the sky, but not my steps. The only light I had to see by was my flashlight. The light was very weak. All I could see was the flat gravel road before me. Anything the flashlight couldn't reach was in total darkness. The expression often used in novels, pitch black, wouldn't be appropriate. I might trip over an empty can or a rock any time. Not wanting to fall, I used my flashlight to its maximum extent to watch my step, but I was still a bit nervous. I started running slower and slower until I was just walking briskly. Did I just stop running because I'm afraid of tripping in the dark? But I usually run around without watching my step during the day. I run around with Rena and Mion all the time. Even if I can see what's underfoot, I don't pay any attention. I don't think I might trip, I just keep running around without a care. Rena might be feeling the same way I am right now. For Rena, the light with which she illuminates the darkness of suspicion is too weak, and the darkness of the delusion she deeply believes is in getting darker and darker. That's why she's scared to even walk on the same road she always used to take. She fell for the contents of those ridiculous scrapbooks. People might laugh at her for that. But those scrapbooks aren't normal. They manipulate their readers' hearts, and with evil intent take advantage of their vulnerabilities. That evil intent captured my heart for one night. But that's why I know how evil they are. They're just urban legends like the prophecies of Nostradamus or the Purple Mirror. They're a bunch of feasible lies, and when you hear about them at first, you think they're too stupid to believe. But once you fall for them, it's hard to get them out of your mind for some reason. It'll be the year 1999 in less than 20 years. Everybody knows about the prophecy that the world will come to an end in July of 1999. There are even some TV shows about it too, which irresponsibly fan people's fears, so some people take it seriously. Those people think that the prophecy means the outbreak of nuclear war. So some of them are making shelters in their backyards. Some of them are thinking they're freezing themselves by 1999 so that they won't be exposed to the radiation, only waking up after it's gone. Those people are completely serious about it, but when you think about it rationally, it's impossible that there will be an outbreak of nuclear war in 1999. It's true that the Cold War makes us think that the final war will break out any time, but both powers are actually pointing their nuclear missiles at each other, and they know there's nothing to gain for either of them to start a nuclear war. The Soviets might still do it. The Soviets would destroy the world if it meant eradicating liberalism, but that delusion that the Soviets might do it could be neatly swapped for the way Takano-san uses the Sonozaki family in her scrapbooks. When people create a large-scale delusion like the prophecies above, they always use an incomprehensibly unknown enemy such as the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, or aliens, and they say something like, "You never know." They might use things like that, try to increase the credibility of the delusions without any evidence whatsoever. What did Takano-san know about the Sonozaki family? Nothing. All she did was use the history of Onagafushi and said the Sonozaki family is still working behind the scenes plotting a horrifying conspiracy. It's just like one of those large-scale prophecies. It's nothing but it's just a stupid story. Like that one about Nazi Germany which says Hitler is still alive and lives in an underground complex somewhere in the South Pole or in Argentina, continuing his plot to conquer the world. Rena usually doesn't believe in stupid stories like that, but it was just bad timing, I suppose. It was right after she killed Rina, Mamiya, and Teppei Hojo and was caught by us. She was in a state of panic when she heard the story. We were waiting for her to recover from the shock, but before she did and regained her strength of heart, a poison got into her and spread all through her body. When you're sick and you have a weakened immune system, it's easy to get another disease. It's just like that. That's it. Rena is just sick right now. When you're very sick, in bed with a high fever, you sometimes feel like you might die from it. But most of the time, you're just overreacting. You get better soon after you take the medicine, eat healthy food, and sleep a lot. That's how she is right now. She caught a mental cold, that's all. She needs to get better soon, or she might get caught by the police. I passed several patrol cars on the way here. I hid every time I saw one, since I didn't want to be questioned. I was probably passed by them twice. When I came close to Rena's house, I saw a car parked near the gate. It was obviously watching her house, trying to capture her when she'd arrive home. Mian ordered the Sonozaki family to find Rena to protect her from the police, but honestly I'm not sure if they can. After all, Rena believes that the Sonozaki family is after her. But if they don't find her, the police will eventually. If that happens, all of us who helped her bury the corpses will be caught by the police in the end. I don't know how or why the police came to suspect her. I think they only have some circumstantial evidence. I don't think they know she did it for sure. But since they're looking everywhere for her now, they must have some kind of reliable evidence. Rena, come on. You don't have time to play around with Takano-san's scrapbooks right now. The police are after you. It was so dark that I couldn't be sure if she was down there, but I made up my mind and headed down the slope, carefully shining my flashlight to the way. I wanted to loudly call out Rena's name, but there might be some policemen nearby looking for her. I walked around a trash pile and then I saw a light. It was Rena. I ran towards her hideout, kicking aside the trash in my way. Rena was standing right in front of her hideout, holding a hatchet. Hey, look, her neck has a towel around it. You know, it's been very warm and humid. Maybe it's one of those special cooling towels that, helps to wick away the extra sweat. Those are usually blue, too. I couldn't blame her. She must have noticed all the noise I had made coming down the slope. Rena, it's me. Gage-kun? You think I wouldn't be this out of breath? I sure have a lot of visitors tonight. Who else is here? I showed my flashlight around, but I didn't see anybody else. I'm leaving because it's not safe here anymore. I don't want you to know where I'm going, so please don't follow me. You can come to my house, Rena. Rena? What happened to your neck? You're bleeding. I'm okay. No, you're not. They might come back again, though. Rena's neck was all red. It looked like she had some kind of skin disease on her neck. She probably couldn't bear the itchiness and scratched at it really hard. You need to do more than just wipe it with a towel. Come to my house. You need to clean it up. Don't worry about it. It isn't an injury, and it's too late anyway. Too late? What do you mean? They must have put the drug in my food without me realizing. It's the drug that killed Tomotaki-san. They probably used a syringe to inject him with the drug, but they changed their methods this time. So you think Rika just brought the syringe because she wasn't sure if the poison took? But I mean, she saw you and she was still offering the syringe afterward. So... Still think that if Rika showed up again and tried to ask again, we could talk this out, and Rena would eventually choose. I think they put it in someone's lunch. You remember Mi-chan gave out a piece of her omelet to everyone the other day at lunch, don't you? Well, wouldn't... Okay, so wouldn't I have it then? She must have put it in the omelet. She's smart. She used a slow-acting drug this time. Damn it. Okay, again, why would Rika then try to poison you? And also, why am I not itchy? Rena kicked the dirt with hatred. She was almost literally kicking Mion's goodwill to the curb. Hey, Rena? Are you seriously saying that Mion would do such a thing? Rena looked stunned and she stared straight at me. I noticed a slight accusation in her eyes. I can tell by looking into her eyes that she wants to say, "What are you talking about? I already told you that Sonozaki family is the mastermind behind the conspiracy. First of all, Mion didn't give out her omelet to everybody that day. Mion cut her omelet into 5 pieces, and she told us to take the one we wanted. Rena took the end piece of the omelet before anybody else took one. She said it looked cute, and ate it right there. No, that's not what happened. Mi-chan tried to make me eat the omelet because she put a drug in it. Rena, stop interpreting everything so conveniently. Mion just put the 5 pieces of the omelet on the lid of her lunchbox. No, she didn't. She gave out each piece to every one of us. Rena, think about it. Have we ever done something like that before? We usually take whatever we like from everybody else's lunch. Nobody has ever said something like this. This is your piece, so take this. Or this is her piece, so don't take that, you know? She looked at me with that accusation in her eyes. To Rena, everything that comes out of my mouth must sound like a lie. To her, it's a fact that she was poisoned. She knows for sure the drug was in the omelet. That's why she's contradicting me, because I'm saying something different. I didn't come here to make her mad. I realized that disagreeing would only escalate her anger, so I decided not to. Anyway, you said this place isn't safe anymore. Where are you going to go? Well, I'll find somewhere. It's not that easy to find a place to sleep. Why don't you come to my house? I appreciate your offer, but I can't do that. The Sonozaki family is looking for me everywhere in the village. I don't think that you'd betray me, but I don't think you can hide me from them either. It's not the Sonozaki family who are looking for you. It's the police. Why? Oishi-san is on my side, and I told him to leave me alone. I don't think he's looking for me. I think they know that you killed Rina and Teppei. Oh, I see. I was relieved that we were finally on the same page, but I realized I was wrong right away when she laughed in self-derision. Do you know how the police found out that I killed them? No, I have no idea. Nobody saw her killing them. Nobody saw us burying the corpses. We buried them deep in the mountains, and we camouflaged the spot perfectly. Plus, Mion moved them to a secret place afterwards, so it's impossible the corpses would be found. I went there this evening. I went there to check the spot where we buried them. Guess what I found? Ah, that didn't sound good. Of course, Rana has no idea that Mion took care of the corpses. She'd think the corpses were still buried there. They weren't there. The corpses. Somebody dug them out and carried them somewhere else. Ah, Rana, that's because, it's impossible that someone happened to dig them up. I chose the place, so the only people who know about the place are me and my friends who were there. That's right. Well, the thing is, I know who did it. It's Mi-chan. They did want me to work with the police, so they needed to have some insurance. But I didn't think they'd use the police to find me. I guess they don't care how it looks anymore as long as I'm captured. Come on, do you really think that Mion would do such a thing? She did. Mi-chan sold me out. No, she didn't. Mion is your friend. We're all on your side no matter what happens. Even if the whole world turned against you, we'd still be on your side. Even if the whole ocean evaporated, Mion would never sell you out. I don't understand why you're defending her. It's just the opposite. I don't understand why you're doubting her. That's simple. Mio-san revealed the existence of the conspiracy to me, and the fanatics are... Shut up, shut up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you like that. I apologize, so please listen to me. The corpses are gone because Mion dug them out. See, I told you. Listen to me until I finish, okay? Mion dug them out because she found out that place isn't going to be safe for much longer. There's a logging project scheduled to begin on that mountain this summer. That was why. That was why she dug them out, to save you from being caught. Ha ha ha. Rana laughed at me like I was stupid or something. I could tell she didn't understand anything I was saying. Don't you get it? Mi-chan made that up. She just wants to look good when you're around. She's a dirty bitch. Hey! Then what was she supposed to do? Are you saying that she should have left the corpses there, knowing that the forestry service would find them this summer? She couldn't do that because she's your friend. Why can't you understand that Mi-chan made everything up, including the lodging project? You're the one who doesn't understand anything. After I yelled at her, she gave me an icy look. She stared into my eyes, as if trying to find out what I came here for. I came here to wake you up. You're possessed by an impossible delusion because of Takano-san's scrapbooks. At first, I thought it was interesting, but this is getting way out of hand. You know why? It's because they're making you sick. Oh, the girl who looked like Rika-chan told me the same thing. You're actually right about that. I mean, I do have the maggot disease, so... No, you don't understand. Listen to me very carefully. You need to lie down and rest for a while, okay? It'd be a lot safer to stay at Mion's house. She can protect you from the police. But if you don't trust her, you can stay at my place. Either way, it's not good for you to stay somewhere uncomfortable like this. Let's just go to my house for now before you get tetanus. Especially with your open wounds. We'll have some cold tea together. It'll cool down your fever. It'll cool your fever down. Then you'll realize how crazy all of this was. What are you talking about, Keiichi-kun? Are you saying that I'm crazy? I'm not crazy, you are. You don't know it, but you're just being controlled by the parasite. Keiichi-kun, you think you have nothing to do with it, but you're one of the victims. You just don't realize it. I'm not blaming you for that. I can save you, I can save everybody, so please, trust me for now. You think we're all crazy. You think everybody in this village is crazy and you're not. Is that what you're saying? It might even be spreading outside Hinamizawa. They might have already spread it as far as Shishibone City, or to the entire prefecture. I really am the only one who isn't crazy. I know that, thanks to Miyo-san's scrapbooks. I thought you understood that too. Wait a second, Rena. You're saying everybody in the world is crazy except you. That's the same thing as saying you're the only one who's crazy. The world hasn't changed. Nobody is crazy. Nobody is your enemy. If you ask me, it's crazy to believe you're the only one in the world who isn't crazy, and that everybody in this world is your enemy. In short, your only enemy is yourself. I feel sorry for you, Keiichi-kun, but it's okay. It's not that easy to accept the facts Miyo-san discovered. Even she wasn't sure about them. So I understand if you can't accept the truth. That's why I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight to save everybody. I'll beat them down and make them stop controlling you. Rana, that's stupid. That's just idiotic. You feel sorry for me. You're stupid. Why don't you understand? Why do you still believe a crazy, stupid story like this? You're just interpreting everything to suit your own convenience. They have replacements for Miyo-san, Rika-chan, and me. They're going to replace me after I'm killed. What? Replacements? Are you seriously saying that? You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. I haven't told you about this yet. The true identity of the parasite is aliens. Aliens? Yes. Oyashiro-sama is also an alien. The description of his descending from the sky matches with the alien theories from all over the world. Whenever a great civilization flourished, it was always the aliens who accomplished it. They have advanced knowledge. They came to Earth to help immature humans evolve. Hey, wait just a minute. You must be kidding, right, Rena? The parasite theory was interesting. But aliens? Come on, that's just nonsense. But Rena believes this theory so seriously, and she feels sorry for me because I can't accept it. They've been controlling the community by living as parasites in human bodies. But sometimes someone with a sharp intuition comes along and tries to reveal the truth. But they get rid of them in order to maintain their control of the community. They sometimes kidnap those people with sharp intuition and put a piece of metal in their bodies to gain control over them. When that doesn't work, they replace those people with their copies. They made a copy of Miyo-san. They made a copy of me, too. Rika-chan's copy just came by a few minutes ago. I talked to it. It admitted that it came from space. It told me the end of the world is coming soon, and it laughed at me, saying I should struggle as much as I want. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to let them domesticate our species. I wonder if Rika hadn't stopped by, if Keiichi would have had better luck. Talking some sense into her, or she would have just scratched herself to death before Keiichi got here. I'll never ever. You're so stupid. I stepped toward Rena and slapped her in the face. I was hoping it would return her to sanity. Wake up! Rena, did you forget? It happened here. Just a few days ago. We all took each other's hands here, didn't we? And we promised we'd be a family made of friends forever. Rena played with her wrist. She didn't interrupt, so I continued. If you're seriously saying that aliens are controlling the Earth, I'll believe you, even if everybody in this world didn't, I would. That's because I'm your friend and I'm on your side no matter what. But I want you to listen to me, too. I want you to listen to me because I'm your friend. Takano-san made up all those stories in those scrapbooks. It's true, Takano-san was an occult maniac. She enjoyed interpreting the old history of Hinamizawa any way she wanted. She made up ridiculous stories out of it, and she read them to people for fun. So the parasite story isn't the only one she made up. There are stories about UFOs, some kinds of creatures from the underworld, and many other things. So the one you read in the scrapbooks was just a new story she made up recently. Don't you remember that she liked to make fun of people? She was just making fun of you because you took her story so seriously. If it was just a story she made up, why was she killed? Her autopsy report said she'd been dead for 24 hours when she was found, but she was there at the festival. Why? How are you going to explain the cause of Tomitake-san's death? What about the Sonozaki family? What about the legend of Hinamizawa? What about Oyashiro-sama and Rika-chan? Are you saying that everything's made up? Are you saying that the whole world is lying to us? Stop making connections between everything. That's a typical symptom of paranoia. Don't think so hard. You're just tired. That's why you need to rest. All I'm going to do is offer you a place to relax, a bed and food. If you can't trust me, my food, you don't have to eat it. Eat whatever you have. Anyway, please just trust me for now. My story makes sense than yours. I have evidence to prove it. But all you're saying is that I should trust you. Isn't it obvious who is right? Yes, it is obvious. Me. I'm right. How? How can you be so sure? It's easy. It's because I'm your friend. Friends never betray one another. Friends always help each other. So, you have to believe that I'm right, even when the world says I'm wrong, because I'm your friend. I heard a thud. Rena dropped the hatchet. She staggered, holding her head in her hands. She was muttering something, and it looked like she was asking herself questions. He wants me to trust him, but he has no evidence to prove he's right. He's being absurd. Or maybe he's right and I'm wrong. Am I really just misunderstanding everything? It would be wonderful if that was true. I wished I was wrong so many times. I wished Mio-san's scrapbooks are nothing but a bunch of stories and the parasite doesn't exist. Some coincidences happen to connect to each other, and I interpreted them the wrong way. I really wish that was the case. Don't give up, Renryugu. Be cool, Renryugu. This guy is poison in his words. He's trying to take advantage of my weakness. Everything is too obvious not to believe. It's obvious that the aliens have been trying to invade the Earth, using this village as their base ever since it was called Ongafushi. Keiichi-kun is a victim who's being controlled by them. He's just a victim. But when he grabbed my wrist really hard on that day, I could tell his intentions were true. I still remember the strength of his grip on my wrist. He tried to save me, his friend. I got lost in this crazy delusional maze. Many times. I prayed over and over that somebody would help me. And now my prayers are answered and Keiichi-kun is reaching for my hand again. But don't forget, Renryugu, this guy says he's your friend. But he hasn't told you everything about himself. Don't you remember Oishi-san told you about it? He told me about what he found. I couldn't trust my friend, so Oishi checked on everybody, including Keiichi-kun. That's why I know about what he did before he moved here. He looks like he's a good guy on the outside, but he's crazy on the inside. I can't trust him. I shouldn't trust him. You also did a lot of shit in your previous school, Rena. I mean, you didn't exactly share a story about you bashing open all the windows in your school. So, I mean, this feels a little unfair. So what? I don't care who he was before he moved here. I did many bad things, and Ibaraki too. At least you're acknowledging it. Thank you. You know, we both forgive each other for, well, not being perfect. I did many unforgivable things. I hurt my friends really bad, broke the windows of the school, and was suspended. I was a very bad girl. Did he treat me differently because of that? No, he didn't. Renryugu is Renryugu. He'll forgive me because it was Renryugu who did those bad things in Ibaraki. He won't forgive me. I should know better. We already forgave you for murder. Okay, and we are literally trying to help you when your neck is bleeding everywhere. Keiichi believes that I'm a kind and modest girl because he doesn't know Rina. Found out about Rina, what would he do? He wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't be scared of me. Rina is Rina. Rina is a different girl. The same goes with Keiichi. I don't care who he was before he moved here. We're even. Are you okay, Rina? Don't touch me. Rena knocked my hand aside when I reached for her. Oh no! Gollum has conquered over Schmeagol. No. Oh God! You keep saying you're my friend. Well... Gollum! I'm trying to talk to Schmeagol. You keep saying you're my friend. You want me to trust you because of that. You want me to believe that you're right, even if the world says you're wrong. Are you out of your mind? That is more delusional than anything else. I don't care what you say. I'm your friend. Everything I say for your sake. Don't doubt me. I'm right. I know I'm right. Really? Then can I ask you something? Yes, anything. Friends don't keep secrets from one another, right? Of course. I'm not hiding anything from you. You're lying. I'm not. Yes, you are. What's so funny? Keiichikin, you think you can keep a secret from me? Don't you? I know everything. I know what you did before you moved here. I know. I felt as if my entire body was covered in frosty needles. My body and mind froze all of a sudden. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. How come she knows about that? I asked Oishi-san to check on everybody. Everybody. That's why I know about what you did before you came here. So stop it. You got it all wrong. You only targeted little girls. I have to tell Satoko-chan and Rika-chan about it. I can't believe a dangerous person like you was near us the whole time. No, it wasn't like that. It just turned out that way. A series of attacks on school kids. Bravo! It has a strong impact on the series of mysterious deaths in Mizawa. Ha ha ha. No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like what? You shot little kids with a BB gun when they were walking alone on deserted streets. What a horrifying incident, and instilled fear to the whole city for a while. Members of the PTA had to watch the kids at every street corner when they walked between home and school. You shot one of the girls in her eyes, and she was badly injured. Fortunately, the damage wasn't permanent. Haha. You had a BB gun and you only shot little kids. How disgusting. What made you enjoy it so much? You must have really enjoyed it because you continued to do it for a long time. But then you turned yourself into the police, accompanied by your parents in a crisis of conscience. You couldn't even take responsibility for your actions on your own. Juvenile law was kind to you, wasn't it? It prevented your name from being disclosed to the public or the victims. I bet your father spent a lot of money to protect you. He paid a lot of compensation to settle the case out of court, and he had you placed on probation. After the case cooled down, he used the power of the money once again to move far away from the city. Everything is solved, right? You're lucky that your father's so rich. Ha ha. No, it wasn't like that. Ah. Why didn't you tell us about it? You told me that you did nothing but study at your previous school. Why did you lie like that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie. I thought friends didn't keep secrets from one another. Right? So that makes you not my friend. You still haven't told me about the thing with your school, though. The blades of her words hit hard, and they made my eyes bleed. The blood was clear, and it tasted salty. I can't trust you because of what you did in the past. Don't you ever think you can hide from me? I remember how deeply I regretted it. I couldn't regret it enough. I wanted to forget, but I couldn't. I made a stupid mistake. Why does she have to bring it up right now? I apologized and accepted everything, and I moved here to put it behind me. I wanted to have a fresh start in Hinamizawa. I swore to myself to live a clean life from now on. Everything is ruined now. I'll be a criminal, no matter where I go. I was stressed out with my exam studies. I was frustrated. I randomly shot people. I didn't care if it was girls or kids. Why did I do something so stupid? There was no reason. I had no reason to do that. I just wanted to get someone's attention. I didn't have the courage to tell my parents I didn't want to study. I just wanted somebody to scold me, so I used a childish way to getting attention. I regret what I did. I swear I'll never do something that stupid again. If I do again, they can send me to the chair. If there was something I could do to completely be free of it, I'd do it, no matter what it was, but no matter how deeply I regret it, and no matter how long I atone for my sin, I'll never be forgiven. That's why I wanted to sweep the whole thing under the carpet and have a fresh start. I have nothing to say if somebody tells me that forgetting my sin is an act of cowardice. Sins are sins. You can't just get rid of them. You have to carry them for the rest of your life. I know that the fate of a sinner. If you don't want to live like that, don't be a sinner. I understand that logic too. But then, how are sinners supposed to live? Anyway, you're not my friend. I'm not going to take any orders from someone who isn't my friend. I need you to leave me alone for a while, okay? I didn't notice until she spoke that. I was on my knees, hanging my head. Rena picked up the hatchet she dropped earlier. I wanted her to hit my head with it. Yeah, that's right. If anything's going to be torn apart, I'd rather it be my body. Compared to the pain of my heart being torn to shreds, I'd rather she cut my head off. I believed it. I still believe it. I still believe it right at this moment. I believe that I'm their friend. But in fact, I'm starting to become aware of it. I want to believe I am their friend, because I don't want to accept my past. I'm trying to tell myself that, but I feel stupid crying like this. My face is all messy with tears. I was never their friend. I'm a sinner, and I hid my past from them. I hid it because I was scared. I told her that friends don't hide anything from one another, and I hid my past from them. I hid my sin from them. My past has nothing to do with how I live my life here. If I ever attacked a kid in this village just because I was frustrated, I wouldn't mind if they killed me and cut me into pieces. But I'll never do anything like that again. I just want to live normally. What I did before I moved here has nothing to do with my life now. For instance, Rena moved here too. I wouldn't change the way I see her too, even if I found out she did something bad before she moved here, right? I wouldn't, would I? Even if Rena beat some of her friends or broke all the windows at her school, I wouldn't care because it happened in Ibaraki. She didn't do that in Inamizawa. Rena is Rena. Rena is my best friend. Game 1. Chapter 1. That's why I wouldn't see her differently, even if I found out about her past. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'd keep a distance from her if I found out she really did such things. I'd be scared of her. I wouldn't try to listen to her. Why? It's just a rumor. Why would I be scared of her? She's my best friend. If I was in her situation, would I reject her just like she did? So Rena's rejection of me was completely natural. Then what am I supposed to do? I was the only one crying. Rena wasn't crying. She looked at me as if she was looking at something dirty. After giving me a nasty look, she disappeared into the darkness. Rena didn't forgive me. There was nothing I could do to atone for my sin, but to keep crying, still down on my knees. Our reason to move to Hinamizawa. I just wanted to live normally. Accuse a friend of a horrible crime. I don't remember how many years ago it was. There was this beautiful village surrounded by nature. But the village was going to be submerged in water because of a new dam project, and the villagers protested against it en masse. They held a sightseeing tour so people from other places could enjoy the local beauty. I joined the tour out of simple curiosity. I wanted to take a look at the nature that might sink under the water. But when I got there, the place took my breath away. The air was so clean and clear, and the landscape was beautiful beyond words. Since then, I was hooked on the inspiring nature of that place. I fell in love with the village so much that I was very glad when I heard that the dam project was cancelled. That village is where I'm building our new house. When I visited there, I found a beautiful field of wildflowers. I saw 2 cute girls playing in that field. Both of them were very beautiful, with long, straight hair. They were probably neighbors, or the best friends. I still remember how they looked. One of them had a very beautiful face with a clear-cut profile for her age, and the other one had a very pretty, innocent look. I'm sure both of them will grow up to be fine, beautiful ladies in the future. They were running around in the field like they were dancing. I asked them if the field was their playground. They said they were playing in hopes that newcomers would move to the village. Then I saw a sign saying lot for sale. That was when I began to think that it might be a great place to live. There was nothing here, and things are a bit inconvenient compared to the life in the city. But I sincerely believe this was the best place for us to start a new life together as a family. A lot of things happened back in the city, but the past is the past. It's best that we move on. We learn from our mistakes, and I hope we can start a new, more ideal life in this village. Keiichi, I hope you'll grow to love it here as much as I do. You too? I'm happy to hear that. I am also happy that we've been doing a lot better as a family since we moved here. Back in the city, we were far from close. So I'm truly happy that we were able to start from scratch. Now that I come to think about it, I've never had a chance to have a conversation with you like this before. Oh, Kiichi, do you know any two beautiful girls with long straight hair in your school? I think they're a lot younger than you are. Oh, you know two young beautiful girls, but one has short hair, huh? I don't think they're the ones I saw. Oh, you want to know how I asked? Oh, I just wanted to ask them to be models for my portraits. I was thinking about making them wear cute costumes, ahem. But basically, I just wanted to see them again for artistic reasons. So if you happen to see them, let your dad know, okay? Promise me, okay? Cough, cough. At lunchtime the next day, everybody in class was talking about Rena's disappearance. We were all worried about her safety, but I kept a safe distance from everybody else. I do wonder where she went. Someone said that she was demoned away. How can they say such things? I can't believe their nerve. Keiichi-san, you look down today. Meep. Satoko and Rika-chan noticed something odd about my attitude. I couldn't sleep at all last night because of what Rena told me. Friends don't keep secrets from one another. That sentence bit into my heart, and I couldn't sleep because of the pain. Mion, Satoko, Rika-chan too, I have something I need to talk to you about. Is it about Rena? No, it's not. It's about me. I decided to tell them about it because they were my friends, but I didn't know what I was expecting to change by doing so. They might despise me. Was there any benefit in telling them? No, there wasn't. I knew that for sure. But I still wanted to tell them about it, just because I thought it'd help heal the pain I was feeling. What is this about, Keiichi-san? Well, it's the truth about myself. I'd appreciate if you listened to me. It's about what happened to me before I moved here. I was a kind of guy who wasn't good at anything but studying. I learned the tricks of the game called studying at my cram school. I enjoyed the sense of superiority I felt by getting good grades. I kept studying just because I wanted to look down at the other students. When my grades got better, my parents got happier, my teachers praised me. I felt good. It was fun to look down on the students who were good at running, dodgeball, or swimming. That was the only reason I kept studying. Before I knew it, not only was I the top of my class, I was the top of my school. So I started to think I was the most important student there. I looked down at the kids who were playing in the schoolyard during lunch break. I enjoyed feeling the sense of superiority to them in my insignificance. The more I studied, the better everybody expected me to do. They started to place high hopes on me. They expected me to go to the best school in Japan. I flattered myself in thinking I deserved to go to that school as well. But the fun went out of looking down on people. Well, the burden of the studying didn't change a bit. My classmates stopped admiring my cleverness after a while, and my teachers started to push me to study more. All of a sudden, the fun had gone out of it. To begin with, I didn't even like to study. I had average reflexes. I was average in a fight. I was an average boy with nothing that really drew attention. So when I found something that I could use to get that attention, I jumped on it. It happened to be studying for me, but if it was riding a unicycle or juggling, I would have done that too. When I realized I didn't enjoy studying anymore, it got very boring. I was just a little boy who wanted to be praised when I did something better than anybody else. I finished all of my summer homework because my parents praised me for it, and I took charge of cleaning duties at school because my teachers praised me for it. So when they stopped praising me for what I did, I began to feel as though my life had no meaning. My parents used to give me an allowance that was proportional to how good my grades were, so I used to get some substantial amount of money for my age. I don't know if I had natural interest in violence, or if I was looking for it because of my frustration at the time. I took an interest in BB guns. At first, I shot at cardboard boxes. It was fun. Being violent at pieces of cardboard relieved a lot of stress. Nobody blamed me for doing that, but soon I started wanting to do something I should never have done. On the box that my BB gun came with was a warning label that read, "Do not shoot at people." That was when I thought about doing just that. Why did I do something I shouldn't have? I guess I was just immature. I wasn't interested in studying anymore, but I forced myself to do it anyway. My parents forced me to go to the several cram schools. I was mad at them for that. I should have told them I didn't want to study anymore, but I didn't have the courage to do that, so I used my frustration as an excuse to do something very cowardly. I shot at kids who were younger than I was with my BB gun. It gave me such a thrill. It felt so good to do something bad when I was so overcome with studying. Needless to say, I had no personal grudge against the kids I shot. As long as the kids passed through a deserted street, they met the requirements to become my target. I didn't mean to hurt them. I shot at them once or twice from a distance. That was all I wanted to do. But sometimes they didn't react at all because the BBs hit a thicker part of their clothes or something. I didn't like that, so I started to shoot until they noticed they were being hit. It inevitably escalated into a barrage of gunfire. I study a lot. I'm doing something good, so I deserved to do something bad to balance out the good that I'm doing. And whether it's good or bad, it's getting attention. That was the unbelievably selfish excuse I made. I thought I had the right to do things like that because I was suffering myself. I thought people who weren't suffering like I was deserved to be shot at, and to get hurt a little bit. I was so selfish, so arrogant, so immature. I was so disgusted with myself. If I could have met myself at that time, I would have given myself a punch in the face so hard that I'd knock out all of my teeth. They started to call it a series of attacks on school children. The principal of my school held a morning assembly to inform them about the case and to warn them to be careful when playing outside. I was laughing sneakily. The PTA issued a letter of warning and advised to take the safest way to and from school. Parents took turns watching the kids when they walked between home and school in groups. The more serious it got, the more it reminded me of the excitement I first felt when my grades started going up. I was absorbed in that game I was playing. I didn't think that I'd get caught someday. I didn't even think to stop doing it either. One day, I found a little girl who was walking down a narrow, dark street all alone. She was a very small girl. I don't know if she was on her way to a friend's house or if she was running an errand. I didn't care which. It was careless of her to go out alone to school. I had warned her not to. So it was her fault. Just like always, I made a selfish excuse and attacked her. Some of the shots hit her in the back. She noticed she was attacked by somebody. She turned around. It was a natural reaction. At the time, I didn't hesitate to rain hell upon her. So when she turned around, I was still shooting at her. Usually when I shot at a kid, she cried in pain and ran away. But this girl was different. She thrashed around in excruciating pain, holding one of her eyes. When I saw her doing that, I realized what had happened right away. The BB had hit her in the eye. Until that moment, I didn't think about what would happen when a pellet that could easily go through a cardboard box hit an eyeball. Anyway, the girl howled in pain, and for the first time I realized I did something horrible. She saw me, so I couldn't take her to the hospital. And I couldn't do anything about it, so I left her there while she was still screaming in pain. I wondered if she was okay, and I worried that she had lost her eye. I kept thinking about her, and I didn't even feel like eating that day. I went to the bookshelf in our living room, snuck a medical book to my room, and studied the structure of the human eye. It was too late to make a difference, but I studied what kind of injuries would make a person lose their vision. I knew it wouldn't make the sin I committed weigh any less, even if I found out that she wouldn't lose her sight. I couldn't sleep that night, and I suffered from a high fever. It wasn't my parents, my teachers, or the police who first punished me for what I did. It was my own body. Before dawn, I woke my parents and confessed my sin. They were shocked at first, but it seemed like they understood the situation quickly due to my recent disobedient behavior and my interest in BB guns. My mom cried hysterically, and my dad slapped me in the face till it swelled up. Before the sun came up, I turned myself into the police, accompanied by my parents. Satoko stared at me with a stunned expression. I deserved to receive that kind of look. What I did was very wrong, and I needed to accept that. Is that all true? Yes, it's all true. I'm sorry I didn't tell you until now. What made you want to tell us? Mion asked me. Rika-chan nodded in agreement. To tell you the truth, I don't understand why. Well, I know, but... No, I'm just saying that I don't see any reason why you had to tell us about it. Well, I didn't want to keep secrets from my friends. You're my friends, so I couldn't hide it from you anymore. What are you expecting us to do? I'm not expecting anything, I just... If you're asking for forgiveness, I can't give it to you. You have to ask the kids you attacked if you want that. It won't help any to tell us about it. I agree with Rika. I think you're really brave to tell us, but I don't understand what you want to do from here on out. I don't want to do anything. I just thought it's not right to keep secrets from my friends. My friends looked around, looked annoyed by the sudden confession of my past. I took it as a bitter medicine. I got what I deserved. Kei-chan, I have a question. Why can't friends keep secrets from each other? What? I mean, that's what you're saying, but I really don't agree. I don't agree either. Mion and Rika-chan obviously disagreed with my statement. Satoko nodded, following suit. I don't think it's wrong to refuse to tell people things you'd rather not. We all have lots of things we don't want to tell anyone else about, like tragedies, mistakes, and other things you don't want to remember. If I'd have to tell someone everything to be true friends with them, I wouldn't want to have them as my friends at all. But, Keiji, I do agree with this. Like, on the one hand, like, both statements are true, and that's not a contradiction. First off, your friends are people that you should be able to trust telling anything and everything to. But your friends are also people that should be able to still have faith in you, even if you don't tell them everything. They shouldn't need to know everything and everything about you. Same way, like, your friends should be able to tell you everything and anything if they feel the need. But at the same time, you should still be capable of trusting and believing in your friends, even though you know that there are things to them that you have no idea about. But that shouldn't diminish your ability to trust or believe in them. Now, of course, there are many extremes to this, like if you all of a sudden found out your friend was like a secret government agent or something. But at the same time, both statements are true. The person should feel comfortable that if they want to tell you about that, they can. But at the same time, if they don't, well, just because they didn't share that with you doesn't mean, there's not a reason not to trust or believe in them. They're still them. There's a difference between things you don't need to confess and things you have to confess. You have to confess what you did to receive forgiveness. But once you're forgiven, you don't need to keep confessing. Quite. You turned yourself into the police and they scolded you good, did they not? You atoned for your sin and you were forgiven. What more do you have to do? You turned yourself in and you accepted the result. You did what you had to do. It's very important that you keep reminding yourself of your sin so that you won't make the same mistake again. But you only have to take care of that on your own. It's not something you have to confess to everybody. And like I said, I do agree in both points. That one, friends shouldn't keep secrets from each other. They should be able to they should be able to open up, and they should also, not be lying or keeping secrets from one another. But at the same time, you don't have to, and the same regard, you shouldn't. It'd be unreasonable for if It'd be unreasonable for me to expect my friends to tell me anything and everything about their lives, and not be allowed to keep anything to themselves. And even then, anytime anyone does, like any of your friends, whether you open up to them or they open up to you, even if they do, there was still a period of time in which they didn't before that. So a lot of times, even if you and your friends are going to share a secret or something, well, it usually takes time. So even the secrets that you do share and say to your friends, there was still that period of time before. But main point is this. You should be able to have, whether it's telling your friends things or not demanding your friends tell you everything about their lives, at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you have a strong sense of trust and loyalty to your friends. And that's the driving factor. That's why it's not a contradictory statement. It's kind of like the idea of if there's a law, it's more important about what's the meaning of the law rather than the letter of the law. Same way, you should be able to have no secrets between your friends, but also you shouldn't need to know every secret your friends have. Because at the end of the day, the driving principle of each of those statements isn't the word-for-word sentence that's being said, but the intent behind it. And the intent behind it is a relationship of trust, mutual respect, and loyalty. That's what matters most. The idea is this, whether it's just your friend, family member, or even a romantic partner. It's an issue of having a deep trust between, both people should be able to feel comfortable telling each other things, but they also shouldn't need to know every little detail of the person's life. Heck, if I had to try to recite every little detail of my life, I'd have trouble organizing all of it. I mean, there's just so many things that it's just... And even then, I've talked about a lot of things, of many different subjects of things in my life over these videos. Even if that were all compiled together into the most efficient, organized way that didn't repeat anything and just said everything once through, it would still be a notebook of several thousand pages at this point. And even then, that still doesn't cover everything. And I mean, that's true of most people's lives. And like I said, a lot of times you share stuff, it takes time for that too, and even takes time to discuss things. And at the end of the day is this, it's also a little unfair to expect someone to listen to you for hours and hours and hours. And yes, it's one thing it's a pre-recorded video like this, to where it's like me recording and then I upload it to YouTube. It's another thing if you're talking to someone in person. Could you imagine having a long, drawn-out conversation with a person in real life? I mean, it's okay from time to time, but it'd be very selfish to even expect your closest friends to constantly listen to such an overwhelming amount. Same way, if your friends were to, no matter how much you might care about a friend, or even that person's your boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, no matter how much you could possibly love or care about that person, there's a limit to how much attention span you can even have, even for someone you truly care about. They just can't keep going on and on and on. Eventually, you need breaks. And you're like, okay, we'll come back to this. Because even then, a lot of times with your friends, you care more about just spending time with the person than about that stuff. You want to focus on a lot of the good things. It doesn't mean the bad things should be avoided entirely. It just means think of it making a mixed drink. You're making soda or something. You gotta have the proper proportions of things like water and sugar and flavors. So, but main point is this. The overarching point is friends shouldn't keep secrets from each other, but friends should still be able to trust each other even if they do have secrets from each other. And you should expect that, one, there's secrets that your friends won't tell you just because, one, either there's stuff that's extremely personal, or there are things that, happened far enough in the past that you or your friends don't even think about that stuff anymore. And heck, that's part of also growing up is, not going insane. That's part of not going insane. Like, we all have lots of bad things that happened in our past where, we went through PTSD inducing situations. And, well, if you were to think about that stuff all the time, well, that would not be good for your mental health. So, and you wouldn't be able to focus on things in real life, in the modern life, because at the end of the day, your memories really don't count as much as real life anymore, because they're things from decades ago. I mean, they're still important, and it's definitely good to still remember things, but at the same time, you can't keep yourself in a constant state of stress all the time. It's just not healthy. But you guys get what I'm trying to say better than what I'm wording it. I'm wording it very poorly. But the point is this. It's about having a relationship of trust, respect, and loyalty with your friends. That's very true. I have many embarrassing stories that I'd rather not tell anyone. Meep. Satoko does have quite a lot of them. It's not only me. Rika has a heap of them too. Meep, meep, meep. Satoko and Rika-chan fooled around with each other like they always did. Mion looked at them and then looked back at me. Satoko just said something very important. Did you get it? You mean the part where she said she has a dark past that nobody needs to know about? No. The bit after that. She's saying that everybody has something they'd rather hide. Considering that nobody grows up in a sterilized room, we all learn by trial and error. That's called life, You do both good things and bad things in order to grow up. Your goal is to become a wonderful person by the end. Everything that happens is a very important experience, including both the good and the bad. The same goes with Satoko, Rika-chan, and me too. The same applies to everybody in this class. For example, me used to be a very bad girl. Meow, meow. Heh. Well, I'm not proud of it or anything, but shooting at people with a BB gun is like nothing compared to what I did. I used to throw bricks at people. I can't even count how many times I ended up in a cell at the police station. During the dam conflict, I was a regular there. I'm not kidding, it's all true. But it happened in the past, and she doesn't have to tell you about it, even though she's your friend, even though she's my friend. I made a lot of embarrassing mistakes and committed some crimes too. But I didn't tell you about them because telling you wouldn't help in any way. If you feel better by telling us about your past, we'll listen. But there is no rule that says you have to tell us about your past just because we're your friends. We're friends. I don't want to dig up a past that you don't want to talk about. That's what true friends are all about, I think. I agree with you, but we're happy if you feel better now by telling us about your past. We can forget about it if you want us to. We'll never change the way we see you because of this. What you did in the city has nothing to do with who you are right now. You're a precious friend. You're a precious friend to us. I actually don't want to know about your past, to be honest with you. I agree with Rika. The same thing goes the other way around, even if you did something great in the city. But if you were a nasty person here, I wouldn't care what great things you did back then. In other words, Kei-chan, the sin you committed in this city is something that you should keep a secret in your heart. You don't need to dig it back up, just tell us. I mean, you can if you want. And if anybody changed the way they saw you because of that, I'd look down on them. No matter what happened in the past, as long as you're a great person at present, you shouldn't be embarrassed of yourself, am I wrong? What's the purpose of living if we can never earn redemption? Satoko used to be a big baby who couldn't do anything by herself. She regretted it deeply, and now she's a strong, independent girl. That's why I admire Satoko today. I don't care how weak she used to be. Rika? What about you, Kei-chan? Are you going to change the way you see me because now you know I used to be a very bad girl who was a regular at the police station? You won't, will you? I am who I am. Our friendship won't change, and we'll keep playing and laughing like this, like we always do, right? That's what being friends is all about. What's going on? Miyana's trying to cheer me up with an encouraging smile on her face, but her expression became distorted all of a sudden. Big teardrops fell from my eyes. What? Why? Why am I crying? Let me just say this. I didn't know anything about Satoshi, because you all hid it from me. We didn't mean to hide it. You didn't tell me about the incidents that happened every year, right? Oh, that's because we didn't want to. You didn't want to scare me. Just because of that, you left me out. No, we didn't mean to. Mia didn't know what to say. She had tears in her eyes. She thought she did me a favor. She didn't know why it turned out like this. She didn't want to make me scared of the village since I had just moved here. What more reason did she need? I asked you for Mia if there was a crime at the damn construction site. You told me there was none. But there was a dismemberment lynch murder. You lied. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you. I thought friends didn't hide things from each other. Right? So that makes us not friends. Ah. What are friends? What are friends? What were friends to me? They were my true friends. They really cared about me. They were so nice to me and helped me feel at home at this village. I couldn't have been happier. Everything was great, wasn't it? Kei-chan, please don't. Mion seemed like she didn't know what to say. Her eyes looked moist. It was hard to believe she was really crying, acting like this. It wasn't like Mion at all. I could feel her pain. She was in pain because she didn't know what I was blaming her for. She looked so sad, but I didn't notice her pain. I thought I was her friend. I didn't understand her feelings. I didn't trust her. I just used the word friends, but I didn't do anything like what friends were supposed to do. That's right, I was such a fool. Mion was Mion. She was my best friend. Why did I doubt her? Why? Kei-chan looks down these days. He just moved here from the city. I guess the fatigue must be setting in. He probably caught a cold as a result. I see. Then he needs to eat something nutritious. My grandma is making ohagi today. I have no idea what that is. I'm going to ask her to give me some, so we can bring them to Kei-chan. Oi, Mion, wash your hands first. Hello, Rena-chan. Would you like to try making one too? Wow, that looks like fun. Yes, I'd love to try. Here we go. Hehehe. I have a great idea. What is it, Mi-chan? What's that little bottle? What's in it? It's not fun to have only sweet ohagi, you know? Let's put hot sauce in one of them. It'll wake him up for sure. We're seeing the events of Chapter 1, which is like 5 games ago, where we had a needle, but it was actually hot sauce. And, you know, later on when they went to draw on me with marker, I saw it as a syringe. Now granted, the anime makes some alternate versions of things to where, like there's one where Rena actually does, though, in the original version of that, it's red blood everywhere. But I know there's a censored version where they changed the blood to be all white, which, questionable choice. Also, why are we seeing parts that we weren't there for? That's right, that's what happened. They brought ohagi for me. To help me get better. They only tried to cheer me up. Why did I get so scared of them? Just because Mion knew I had lunch at Angel Mort? I grew terrified of her. Hey, you don't look good. Maybe you should lie down. The other thing is this. We're seeing the people's faces the way they were. But in Game 1, we were seeing them with the Hawkeyes. Same way Rena right now is having an illness right now, but she's seeing us the way we were seeing them, which of course ended very, very poorly. That's right. Maybe we should leave. They just wanted to cheer me up with the joke, but because I'd looked so serious. See you. Please get better soon. Hope we can hang out in the club again together tomorrow. That was a normal way of saying goodbye. I don't want you to be absent from school tomorrow, okay? First of all, have I ever visited any of my classmates who were absent with a cold? No, I haven't. I've never done such a nice thing to anybody. Because it's too much of a bother. But they did that for me. I have done that for other people, but they did not appreciate it. So, I understand visiting a friend at the hospital, but I just caught a cold. But they came to visit me over hockey so that I could get better soon. I should have been thankful to them and said, I'll get better soon, and I'm sure I can come to school tomorrow. So, I'll see you then. That was what I was supposed to say. But what did I do instead? I locked the door. I closed the door and locked as if rejecting them. What was I so scared of? What was I so afraid of? Why didn't I say any words of appreciation to my friends who cared about me? I was just so scared of the hoggy they brought for me. What was I thinking? It was impossible there was a needle in one of them. There wasn't actually a needle at all. It was all in my head because I had read some manga about someone putting needles or razor in people's food. It scared me so much that I believed it could also happen to me for some reason. And I thought there was a needle in the ohagi. You were so stupid, Keiji. Why would your friends put a needle in the food? They only brought to make you get better. It was crazy to think like that. Even if there was a needle in one of them, I should have thought that it was some kind of mistake, and I should have believed my friend's innocence. That was what a true friend would do. But what did I do? Pound. Splatter. Smash. I threw the ohagi they spent so much effort making on the floor. Why? Why did I do that? I got along so well with them. I moved to Hinamizawa and made friends for the first time in my life. They were my best friends. Meeting them was the most wonderful experience of my life. I'd probably never have another one like that for the rest of my days. I knew that, but I got scared and I doubted them. They noticed that I was acting odd. That's why they called the manager Irie. They thought a sedative might help me relax, so I could rest and get better. That's why they carried me up to my room. Mion just wanted to make it fun. So, she's the kind of person who expresses her goodwill by making a joke out of it. I knew that better than anybody. She knew Irie would roll up my shirt to check my heartbeat without a stethoscope. So she was just trying to draw graffiti on my shirt, like she did Tomotaki-san as punishment for the game she lost. Yes. That's why. Mion took out a felt marker out of her pocket. A felt marker. She brought a felt marker from home because she just wanted to do something funny. She tried to cheer me up by making me take a punishment for the fun rather than nursing me, because that's just what Mion is like. She went to the trouble of bringing a felt marker to my house, just because she wanted to cheer me up. Rena held me down tightly and Mion came closer to me to write something on my shirt. Mion whispered the words she was going to write on my shirt. I heard them. I heard them clearly. I heard what she was going to write on my shirt. I hope you get well soon. Mion. I heard them, then why? I should have known she wasn't going to do anything to hurt me. Then why? Why did the marker look like a syringe to me? Why did I think that Mion was going to kill me? It was impossible. It was impossible. Why? Why did I misunderstand that Mion was going to kill me? Ah. The numbness in my head receded, and slowly I felt blood start to run through my entire body again. How long was I squatting down there? For a few minutes? Or a lot longer than that? As I looked up at the clock, the hands weren't moving at all, as if they had stopped while I had my eyes closed. Really? The atmosphere in the room wasn't filled with insanity like it was earlier, but it was quiet and gray. Rana wasn't holding me down. Mion wasn't about to give me an injection. Was all of that just some kind of illusion? There was no sense of presence other than myself in that room. It was an extraordinary experience, the kind I'd never had before. I was there with Rena and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but at the same time, I felt some kind of relief too. That scary incident was just an illusion after all. Neither Rena nor Mion would have done such a terrible thing to me. Tears started forming in my eyes. My emotions were running high. Why? It wasn't a question of why tears were forming in my eyes. Why? It was a question of my sadness. Why did I feel so sad? I don't know. I don't know. You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? You do know. I was so stupid. What the hell was I doing? I was so pathetic and helpless. Mion just tried to cheer me up, and that was all. I liked her so much. She was my best friend. She was older than me, but she hung out with me like we were the same age. She was the first one who came to talk to me in class. She was so nice to me, but I... Mion was lying down in an unnatural position near the window. She was covered in dusky red blood from her head to her chest. The red fluid splattered on the wall was Mion's. What had I done? What had I done? I would never forgive myself. I truly did think all of you as my friends. Why did this happen? There was nothing fun in my life at my old school. When I talked to anyone, it was only ever about my chances of passing the entrance exam of the schools we wanted to go to. My life was shaded in gray. Friends to me were rivals and enemies to vie with for a school recommendation and test scores. My friends here taught me just how unnatural that was. This whole month was a blast. We raised the roof over lunch, our club activities, and the festival. A warm liquid flowed out from my eyes. To my surprise, it was my tears. I didn't have any obligation to cry for them, but I couldn't stop it, even though they attempted to kill me, even though they almost killed me. I couldn't forget the memories we made during the past month. Or were those fun days fake? Was it an act that they kept playing perfectly to set me up until today? Was it only me who believed that they were my friends? It couldn't be. Rena and Mion, they were my friends for real. Those happy days couldn't have just been a performance. Rena and Mion must have been forced by somebody to kill me, or that an extraordinary existence called Oyashiro-sama possessed them and took over their consciousness. No matter what it was, both Rena and Mion were my best friends. I was stupid. I was such a fool. Such a fool, such a fool. Such a fool. I wasn't making any sense at all. I killed my best friends. They were my best friends. Then why didn't I trust them? Why didn't I listen to them? I beat them to death. Who did I think I was? I made it sound like I didn't do anything wrong. I felt like everybody went crazy except me. I was such a fool. It was the other way around. Of course it was. I was the only one who went crazy. K-chan? I did something terrible. I'll never forgive myself. Mion was still alive. I have a memory of beating her to death because I couldn't trust her. But that's a memory from a non-existent, different world. But even though it happened in a different world, I killed Mion. And I didn't realize how deep that sin was. I even thought until now that Mion was at fault for being killed. What is wrong with Keiichi-san? I don't know. Kei-chan, please calm down. I'm not dead. You didn't beat me to death. I mean, I'd never let that happen. Okay? Quite. There's no one in our club whom you could beat to death, Keiichi-san. No. Mion and Satoko looked confused, having no idea why I was crying. But I couldn't help myself. I learned just now that I could earn redemption by confessing my sin. But I could never earn redemption for this, not from Mion, no matter how much I cried in this world. Nobody could give me forgiveness. And so I could never earn redemption for their sin. for this sin. Right then, Chie-sensei came in and noticed me crying. You wouldn't see a teenage boy crying like this very often. Chie-sensei asked me what was going on, but at that moment I couldn't hear anything. Mion and Satoko looked confused. They didn't know how to explain the situation. Rika-chan approached me in the midst of my sobs. You remember, don't you, Keiichi? You remember how you killed Rena and me? Yes, I killed them. I killed them. But I didn't accept my sin, and I pretended I was the victim. I cursed and blamed my friends until the moment I died. There was blood everywhere, and in the end I just died alone without any regrets. I clawed at my itchy throat in a phone booth. I didn't notice my sin, and I died alone. Keiichi? Did you notice your sin just now? Yes, I did. It took me so long, but I just noticed it. I remember what I did. Not here, but in a different world that looks just like this one. I killed my friends because I couldn't trust them. They were just trying to help me, but I didn't listen to them. I don't know why I didn't. I didn't care if people were staring. I just kept crying. I wanted to transmute my sin to tears in order to squeeze it out of me. But the tears that were coming out from my eyes weren't my sin. They were just the tears of regret for doing something irreversible. At that time, I felt something touching my head. I opened my eyes and saw Rika-chan patting my head. Gently. I didn't need any comfort. I didn't deserve any comfort from Rika-chan, but the words she spoke to me weren't ones of comfort. I forgive you, Keiichi. What? Keiichi? You noticed your sin. It's a very difficult thing to do, and not something everybody can. Not everyone can understand how great you are, and hence they can't forgive you. But I can, because I know how great you are. Rika-chan, this is a miracle. You notice the sin you committed in another world. That's impossible to do, but you did it. That is the most unbelievable and precious of miracles that could exist in this world. I didn't understand anything Rika-chan was saying, but I felt like she's the only one who understood the impossible memory I had. So, you should be able to understand what Rena Ryugu is going through right now. Yes, I understand. She's going through exactly the same thing I went through. She wants to trust her friends more than anything, but she can't. She's the one who's losing her mind, but she doesn't understand that, and she thinks the world is going crazy instead. I don't know how to save her. I have no idea, because I failed. I didn't understand until I died. No, I didn't understand even after I died. So how can I make Rena realize what I did even after that? I can't save her. I can't save her. I know, because I was just like her. There's nothing I can do. Calm down, Keiichi. I did fail, but that didn't mean Rena would too. There was no excuse not to save her, because I thought she'd fail. After all, what did Rena do back then? I was totally going mad, but she risked her life to save me. In my room in that world, I had beaten her many times with a metal bat, but she was smiling. She knew I was scared. And that's why she smiled for me. I beat her so many times her arms were broken and her forehead was cut open. I remembered, Rena didn't block her head. Even at the very last moment, she opened her arms towards me. Like she was looking for a hug. But I still doubted her, and raised the metal bat up high. Rena told me then that it was okay. Please, trust me. My friend still told me to believe in her. She told me to trust her, but I still didn't. I lost it and attacked her. She was in danger. She was actually killed. But she didn't even block her head. Instead, She used her arms to reach out for me. Rena continued to say those words until the moment she died. Trust me. Please, trust me. She risked her life to save me. Until her very last moments, she kept telling me to believe in her. But I didn't listen. For so long, I truly believed that I didn't do anything wrong. I feel a little bit better now that you've forgiven me, Rika-chan, but I still have to atone for my sin. I'm going to do that in the same way Rena did for me. I'm going to save her. Rena risked her life to save me. She cared about me until the very last moments. She trusted me. She believed that her words would reach my heart, so she kept saying them until I cracked her skull. I don't care if I die. Rena died for me. I can die for her too. I was such a fool for failing to understand my friend's feelings. That's why I didn't understand what she was saying. But Rena might be different. This world is messed up, but it doesn't mean that I can just quit. Quitting is the same thing as not believing. I believe in Rena and in our friendship. That's why I can still make it. I can still prevent a tragedy from happening. I can change fate. We will struggle together to seize our future. Rika-chan nodded with a serious look on her face, and she put her hand in the pocket of her skirt. Keiichi, I won't give up either. I'm not going to lose hope in this world. I was tired from meeting with countless failures. I gave up on this world as it started to go wrong. That's why I kind of gave up on Rena last night, but I was wrong. I realized that the will to fight is such a beautiful and divine thing, and it can work miracles that can even alter the path of fate. So I'll fight with you. I'll fight again. I'll keep fighting. Until I reach the future. I have no idea what you two are talking about. Hee. It's normal that you don't remember. Keiichi is a special exception. Huh? I suppose I'm too brilliant to understand what's going on? Rika-chan touched Satoko's forehead to hers. But please remember one day, when you're desperately driven to a corner of misfortune, please remember that he risked his life to save you. Keiichi-san fought for me? It's hard to believe. He? Isn't that right, Keiichi? Rika-chan looked at me, smiling as if waiting for my agreement. I wasn't sure if I could risk my life for Satoko. No, I was sure I'd risk my life for her. Satoko is my friend. If anybody tried to make her unhappy, I'd beat them up without hesitation. I'd risk my life to save her. There might even have been a world like that. I nodded to Rika-chan. Rika-chan nodded back to me, looking happy. Mabura-kun, is everything okay? Chie-sensei realized that I'd finally calmed down, and she asked me that. Yes. Everything is fine now. I'm sorry I worried you. Anyway, Mion. What? What is it? I walked towards her. Mion stepped back, not knowing what was going on. She bumped into the blackboard. What is it, Kei-chan? You look so serious. Ah. I held Mion tightly. She still didn't know what was going on, and her face turned red. Crying on her shoulder, I told her the following. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What? What are you sorry for, Kei-chan? This old man doesn't really get what's going on. It's okay, you don't need to get anything. So just listen to me. I'm very sorry. And the ohagi you made? They were really good. They were delicious. They cheered me up. Well, I wanted to tell you that. I would go to school next day, and the day after that, too. I wanted to tell you that. I would see you tomorrow at school, but I couldn't. I'm very sorry that I didn't give you any words of appreciation until today. I'll never doubt you, Mion. I'll never doubt any of my friends. Never, ever again. So, Mion, please forgive me for what I did that day. Mion must have had no idea what I was talking about. Of course, I didn't either. I didn't understand what I was talking about, but my sin wasn't forgiven yet. I needed to confess my sin in order to receive her forgiveness. I know you risked your life to save me, Mion, so I'll risk my life to save you too. When you're in some kind of trouble, I promise I will. Kei-chan, you're making me blush. Mion's face was bright red. She didn't know what was going on. Satoko was blushing too with a confused look on her face. Rika-chan and I understood everything. We weren't going to accept a tragedy. We couldn't give up just because the world was going out of order. We were going to fight against fate to the very last moment. Mion fought for me. Rena fought for me. That's why I was going to fight for Rena, just like she did for me. I was going to risk my life to save her. The summit was being held at a traditional Japanese restaurant in Shishibone City. When a black car stopped in front of it, 3 burly cops got out, followed by Oishi. They were welcomed to the Sonozaki Corps members in equally black suits. It was something you didn't see every day. Thank you for having us. We apologize for being late. I'll take you to the room. Please, follow me. There was a sign saying reserved at the entrance. Oishi and his subordinates were taken inside. They walked through the restaurant's pretentious landscape garden, and they came to the gorgeous Japanese-style entrance. A woman in a kimono was waiting at the entrance, as was Kasai. Upon seeing the police officers, they stopped chatting and bowed deeply. The woman in the kimono was Mion's mother, Akane. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Sonozaki. Thank you for having us today. It was a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming all the way here despite your busy schedule. Not at all. I've been looking forward to the feast I'm going to have today. Kiyomizute is famous for its dried bean curd, right? Nahaha, I can't wait. Long time no see, Kasai-san. It's been forever since we last met in person. Yes, it has been a while. Well, we seem to be at war, but I'm hoping we can settle this like adults. Although we're ready for an all-out war whenever you are. No, we have no desire to fight. Nyahahaha. Neither do we. Everybody knows how messy things get when you get involved, but I'd like to avoid that as much as possible, since I'm not that young anymore. Obviously, this was a meeting between people who hate each other. The tension in their words indicated that it wasn't likely to be a friendly meeting. I'll take you to the room. Please follow me. I feel bad that our host is taking us to the table. Well, I know we sent you the invitation under my name, but actually today's host is the Sonozaki main family. I'm sorry for the confusion. I see. Can I go back and get my bulletproof jacket? Nahaha. On the other side of the door there were several tables and Mion was sitting at one of them. Since Mion was still young, her school uniform functioned as her formal dress. Still, it looked strange with both police and corps members in black suits. Hello, you must be the successor to the head of the Sonozaki family. Thank you for having us today. Thank you very much for coming. Please take a seat. Mion politely welcomed the police, undaunted even though they were older than her parents. Mion gave Kasai a look and he tapped on the floor. The waitresses who had been waiting behind the door started bringing out drinks. Oishi-san, what's going on here? I'm not sure. Well, let's enjoy the meal first. Their dried bean curd is really famous, you know. They started drinking, but the tension continued for a while. Mion made the waitresses and the other members of Sonozaki family corps leave the room, and soon only Oishi and his subordinates, Mion, Akane, Kasai, were left in the room. Well, let's start talking about why we're here today. Akane nodded and began speaking. We're having this meeting today so we can resolve our misunderstandings. This is a good idea. It's good to talk about things. That way you can get proper discussion, and that way there are no misunderstandings. Such as, Kasai wanted to talk to you about Ren and Ryugu for personal reasons. Therefore, this meeting is about the private circumstance between Tatsuyoshi Kasai and Ren and Ryugu. The Sonozaki family has nothing to do with this. Nyahaha. What are these private circumstances? Ryugu-san lives an honest life. How can she have any kind of private connection with Kasai from the Yakuza? Kasai. Yes. Allow me to explain. Kasai told the police officers that he happened to meet Rena at a coffee house in Okonomiya. He explained that Rena found something he lost there and that she offered to bring it back to him. That doesn't sound right. But for argument's sake, why don't we assume what you're telling us is true? What happened after that doesn't make any sense. I heard that you told your members to find Ren Ryugu. That is actually my fault. Rena's father was worried about her because she didn't come home after work, so I sent my men to ask if any seen her downtown, but I made a small mistake. Wait a second. You made us come all the way here, and now you're telling us to believe this bullshit? Could it be that you're making fun of us? Oishi looked a lot more like a member of the Yakuza than the real Yakuza did. Oishi threatened them with a nasty smile, and it piled all the more tension onto the atmosphere in the room. Oishi-san, please don't. Kumagai tried to make him stand down. Officers with hot tempers pair with others who are good at calming them down, just like how Yakuza do. Oishi backed off with a grin. Kumagai took over, continuing from there. So what were you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Do you not want us to intervene because this is a civil matter between Ren and Ryugu and Tatsuyoshi Kasai? That's not going to happen. We're going to give her protection. Mion opened her mouth for the first time in a while. You need to explain to me why the police have to protect Ren and Ryugu to begin with. Why? Because you guys are after her. Oishi answered bluntly, but Mion remained nonchalant. That must have made him all the more annoyed. What makes you think we're after her? Why don't you ask what's in your chest? It might know something. Oishi-san? We're here to resolve our misunderstandings. It's your choice not to listen to us, but I think it's better that you do. Oh, and what are we misunderstanding exactly? Your misunderstanding concerns the scrapbooks of Mio Takano that Ren and Ryugu is in possession of. The officer's expressions grew stern all at once. All of a sudden, she had gotten straight to the point. You want to protect Ren and Ryugu because she has the scrapbooks, isn't that right? Oishi and his subordinates glared back at her without saying a word, making it obvious that her guess was right. Kasai? Akane gave him a look, and he left the room. However, he shortly returned, carrying a black suitcase. Every one of the officers assumed that there was a tremendous amount of money in the suitcase, and the Sonozaki family was trying to buy them off. Kasai opened the suitcases and showed them the contents to the police. Are these? These are Mio Takano's scrapbooks. I'm afraid we don't have the ones she gave to Ren and Ryugu. This is going to be our main course for today. Do you mind if I take a look? No, feel free. We can talk after you read them. I'll make my people leave if you like. Oh no, you don't have to do that. The cops produced latex gloves from their pockets, put them on, and took one of the scrapbooks out of the suitcase. There were more than 10 of them in there. We found them in Mio Takano's house in Okonomiya after she passed away. Oishi and the others desperately turned the pages of the well-thumbed scrapbooks. Are you sure? These are real? Without a doubt. Oishi-san, if Ren and Ryugu has the other scrapbooks, that means maybe the ones she has have the same kind of stuff in them? Oishi looked stunned by the contents of the scrapbooks. He started turning the pages faster, then closed the scrapbook roughly. Do all of these have the same kind of contents as this one? Yes, they do. Feel free to take the time to look at them until you're fully satisfied. The other officers had rapidly turned through the pages. They weren't reading them, just flipping through. They took one scrap of the suitcase after another and flipped through the pages roughly. Oishi-san, This is absurd. These are just crappy occult novels. This one says that the netherworld collided with this world and that the dead souls float across the gap. I mean, technically that is true. That is part of the backstory of this game. But, I mean, technically Oyashiro-sama's an alien from another dimension that, like Final Fantasy spirits within, but, yeah. Does kind of make it much more absurd. How are we going to use this as proof? Well, yours says something about the netherworld. Mine is about creatures from the bottom of the ocean. This one's about classified weapons from the Nazis. I mean, technically all of these are true, but this one's about the legacy of the Mu continent. This one's about Ozzy, mysterious creature owning the Fuji swamp. We can surmise that Ren Ryugu most likely has a scrapbook about the parasite theory we've all heard of. The police were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The other officers were shooting glances at Oishi. They hadn't said anything to him, but they never really believed in the story of the parasite, let alone the bioterrorism. But Oishi had believed it and told them he had proof. None of the scrapbooks in front of them said anything about parasites, but it was easy to assume the contents of the scrapbook were no different in nature from the other. In other words, all of them were just crappy occult novels. Well, Oishi appeared unable to accept the fact that it was facing him. But now that he was actually looking at it, it was too difficult to ignore. Mio Takano was an occult geek who had laughable ideas about the legend of Aum Fuji. Ren took them seriously, and so had Oishi. The other officers could no longer stop themselves from laughing at the ridiculous scrapbooks. Oishi glared at them, and they stopped laughing. The main reason Oishi took the stories of the parasite so seriously was because Sonozaki was apparently after Ren Ryugu for the scrapbooks she had. Plus, Takano, the owner of the scrapbooks, was killed. Because of these two reasons, he believed in the occult B novel. Oishi was frustrated without a doubt. He asked to accept that he was wrong. Oishi was eager for any information that could help him solve the series of mysterious deaths in Namizawa before he retired. A combination of the number of factors made Takano's ridiculous theory become highly credible to him. Let me ask you something. Why was Mio Takano killed? We have no idea what happened to Mio Takano or Anjiro Tamataki. Of course you don't. A liar doesn't call himself a liar. Come on, Oishi-san. Do you think we do such a lousy job as to let the police find the bodies? Mian wore a cold smile. She had said too much. Akane cleared her throats, as if to condemn the statement. That Mian shut her mouth. Oishi glared at the young successor, but he knew she was right. Then why are you after Ren Ryugu? We're not. I admit it's our fault that we made it look like we were after her. For that we apologize. The reasons which made Oishi take Ren's delusion seriously collapsed one by one. Mian and Akane looked at each other. They must have decided that let Akane speak. She did so firmly. We'd like to ask you a favor. We don't want to be involved with the police because of nonsense like this. We heard that Sankai from the police headquarters started work with the public safety division. They're going to do simultaneous raids on our family using this case as their excuse, aren't they? That had been at Oishi's request. Oishi took Ren's story seriously, and he wanted to find the research facility that was developing the parasite he was intending to use as proof of the potential bioterrorist attack. But technically, you still need to do those raids. Yes, the Sonozakis aren't the one behind it, but Mio Takano isn't dead. She faked her death, and she's actually in charge of 100 Nazi scientists in the mountains working on the parasite. So, also the aliens thing is real. So is the dimensional stuff. But that's more complicated. But hey, we'll get to that eventually in the story. And everyone's like, you're spoiling the story, Lunar. I'm like, who hasn't? It'd be like saying Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. Or that, Goku's a Saiyan. But as he had no idea where to start looking, he tried to conduct simultaneous raids on facilities so like Moon, the entire future, and cooperation task force looking at gang groups and public safety. Normally, the circumstantial evidence he had wouldn't have been enough to get the cooperation. In fact, public safety doubted Oishi's source because they had heard of a potential terrorist attack. They trusted their information network. But Oishi took advantage of a long career and his old friends, and he managed to get them to cooperate. Oishi's face broke out in nervous sweat. Needless to say, he realized he was completely wrong. We caused you some trouble during the dam conflict, but the era is reaching its end, and things have changed. We're a Yakuza group that sides with the weak and crushes the strong, but we're also trying to achieve peace and stability in line with these changing times. If we get raided now, we're going to lose face. Who cares about your face? I know we'll find something with those raids. We're going to go through with them. If you find something, good for you. But if you don't, you know it'll cause big liability issue that even you won't escape lightly. Oishi-san, alright, sounds like you really do want an all-out war. Huh? If that's what you want, please carry out your job to your own satisfaction. We'll take on the challenge any time. Wah! Kane-san didn't betray Oishi-san's expectations. Although her right to become the successor was taken away, Akane had been through a lot more than Mion. Oishi couldn't back out now, but he knew it was a fight he probably couldn't win. Kumagai butted in and tried to calm him down. If we put a stop to the raids, what would we get in return? Mion answered this time. We'll give you those scrapbooks as proof of our friendship. I'm sure you can use them to cancel the raid attempts. These scrapbooks proved how ridiculous Mio Takano-san's theory was. Takano was dead anyway. Oishi could show people these scrapbooks and say he was fooled. He could still pretend the whole raid thing never happened. He might have taken responsibility for it, but if he didn't back off now, know that he faced a hopeless mess. If he was going to back off now, it was now or never. The administrative staff at his station weren't exactly fond of him. If he made such a huge mistake right before his retirement, people who'd been looking for a chance of revenge would cut his pension with glee. His pension was decided by multiplying his base salary by a certain amount. If they cut his base salary, there was no way he could avoid a big reduction. Oishi-san? He decided to back off. It was hard for him to admit his mistakes at his age. He grimaced with anger. Kuma-chan, can you take over from here? I think I had too much to drink. I'm going to get some fresh air on the porch. Excuse me. Oishi stood up quickly and left the room, making a lot of noise as he walked. Kasai closed the door Oishi left open. The room was filled with silence again. At that point, Kumagai opened his mouth. We understand your point. Our intention isn't to cause trouble to all your organizations you own, so I want to confirm that the police and Sonozaka will help each other maintain the peace of the city. Therefore, we're going to put off doing simultaneous raids. Thank you very much. I'm sure our leader, Oryu, appreciates your concern as well. As you promised, we'll take the scrapbooks. And there are 2 more conditions. Go ahead. First, if you find the other missing scrapbooks, you must bring them to us immediately. Second, if you find Renarugo, you must turn her over to us immediately as well. I'm afraid the second one is unacceptable. Renarugo's in a state of delusion. We'll make sure her safety. We'll find the best medical facility we can take her to. She has a right to receive treatment. We can't accept that either. We have the right to question her about the murder of Takano. As a material witness, not as a suspect. Akane whispered to Mion. Mion in turn nodded and began to speak. Very well. We'll accept the second condition, but let us add another condition on top of that. We're going to send her a lawyer. You only question her in the lawyer's presence. Understood. One more thing. You aren't allowed to delay us by not sending the lawyer on purpose. We'll start questioning her right after we find her. We have no problem with that, but you must contact us immediately after she's found. We will as soon as we can. Akane cut in. You have to call us before you question her. You must call us the very moment she's found. This is an agreement made in good faith, founded on our mutual trust. So please do be careful not to do anything that might waste it. Understood. You have my word on that. We'll try to keep our promise with the best of intentions. Kane and Kumagai glared at each other for a moment. Surprisingly, Kumagai was very calm. He was always in the shadow of Oishi, who was loud and noisy, but he had as much guts as his superior did. Oishi was good at taking care of matters in a rough and threatening kind of way, but Kumagai was good at negotiations like this. The meeting ended, and the police stood up from their seats. The tension in the room had finally ceased. Kasai put the scrapbooks in the suitcase and handed it to Kumagai. Kumagai looked at Kasai, nodded lightly, and took what was offered him. This is a very expensive case made in Italy. Please take it as a souvenir from us. No, we're only supposed to take the scrapbooks. We'll return it to your office later. Thank you for your time. Please give my regards to the family head Oryu-san. The officers left after bowing to Mion. After making sure the police had left the hallway, Mion sighed heavily and finally let go of the tension. She spread her feet on the floor, flapping the rim of her skirt. Oh man, my shoulders hurt. Why didn't you take care of this, Mom? Don't be silly, your rank is higher than mine. Rank is everything, not age. Hey, Kasai, have a waitress bring me a beer. Oh, and you can let the grunts in and give them something cold to drink, too. You want me to bring only beer? Oh, she can't drink. Bring some orange juice for her. Don't treat me like I'm a little kid. I guess my rank doesn't matter to you, huh? You'll always be a big baby to me. Anyway, your father pulled many strings for you this time. You should thank him. And you too, Kasai. You have to play it smarter than when meeting with common man. I'm a little embarrassed. By the way, I'm very impressed with Rena-chan for making a fool out of Ueshi. You have many friends with good potential. I'd like to meet her. We can go see a play together or something. Kasai, whenever you see her next, let her know I said that. And don't tell her any more creepy stories, alright? Of course, I'm well aware of that. With that, they successfully dispelled the magical power of Takano's scrapbooks. The whole mess shouldn't grow any larger. The only remaining problem was Rena. Where could she be hiding? Before I went to bed, I headed to my window to close the curtain. I saw the shadow of a person near the porch. Who could it be so late? Well, I didn't have to guess who it was. There was only one person I knew who might come to me so late. I opened the window and looked more carefully this time. I was right. It was Rena. She was just standing still under the light. I wondered how long she'd been there for. It didn't look like she was going to ring the doorbell. She was just standing there. She seemed to be asking herself whether to ring the doorbell or not. For how long had she been hesitating in front of my door? It looked like even standing was giving her a hard time. She looked very tired. I ran down the stairs, put my sandals on, and rushed out of the house. Rena looked surprised to see me, even though I came out after making such a lot of noise. Rena? Is that you? Rena! She looked relieved to see me for a moment, but then she soon glanced downward and looked sad again. How long have you been standing there? Here. I don't know. Maybe since the sun set? Rena must have been staying somewhere outside for the last 2 days at the very least. And it wasn't like she'd been camping for fun. She'd been in a state of high tension the whole time, believing that someone was trying to kill her. Rena looked utterly exhausted. She seemed to have taken care of the deep scratch she made on her neck the other day with some large band-aids. The band-aids had cute pictures, but that only made the wound on her neck look more painful. I saw some band-aids soaked with blood on her arms and body, too. I could tell she made them herself. She had more scars than she had last night. Anyway, let's go inside. You haven't eaten anything for 2 days, have you? When I tried to take her in the house, she refused with a vague expression on her face. It wasn't that she didn't want to go into the house. It was more like she had to refuse because she thought she didn't deserve it. I can't take it anymore. Even at this moment, the maggots are moving through my body. It itches really badly. And it feels like they're about to come out from everywhere. Rena, I think you have some kind of disease. Why don't you get some rest here and we'll go to the clinic first thing in the morning. He understands your delicate situation, so see you in private. No. I know it. I know exactly how Tomotaki-san died. I'm trying not to do what he did for as long as possible. Rena believed she was given some kind of suspicious drug that made her claw at her neck to death, just like Tomotaki-san did. She convinced herself that it was going to happen. She wouldn't hear anything else right now. But she really wanted somebody to help her. She wanted help, but when someone tried to give it her hand, it looked like the hand of the devil. If this was some kind of disease. What a horribly depressing disease it was. Well, I don't know how long I'm going to die, but I don't think I have much time. That's not going to happen. You're a member of our unbeatable club, Rena Ryugu. You're not going to die so easily. Haha, thanks. Well, I wanted to say sorry before I die. Sorry? For what? Yesterday I said terrible things to you and I hurt your feelings. She must be talking about last night. She trusted me, but when Oishi-san told her about my past, she felt betrayed. And after that, everything I did out of goodwill seemed like the opposite to her. I know what it's like. I once felt the same way about you, Rena. Well, before I moved here, I did many horrible things too. A lot, actually. Really? I don't know. What I did is beyond comparison. You just shot someone with a toy gun. I hit somebody's head really hard with a metal baseball bat. Everybody got hurt really badly. And I also broke the windows of my school and... I know. But I don't care about any of that. You did that before you moved here. That's why you stopped being Ryan and Ryugu and became Rena after you moved here, right? To me, you're my best friend, who's very kind, thoughtful, and fun. That's the most important thing. I don't care who you were before. So, I was way worse than you were. I have no right to say that you're not my friend. I felt the same way too. I was afraid of you because I heard about your past. Oh? You knew? Rena laughed sadly. She seemed shocked to find out that I knew about her history when she thought I didn't. But I was like, so what? Eh? It doesn't matter how bad you were before you moved here. You've been through ups and downs with tears and laughter, but since you moved to Hinamizawa, you've been living a proud life. The important thing is that you regret what you did. That's all that matters. You've grown up to be a respectable person. I don't care about your past. I should have noticed it earlier. Rena is Rena. That's why she's Rena Ryugu. I couldn't understand the simple thing when she said she wasn't Rena. You heard about my past too, right? I was pretty bad as well. I was such a brat. I regret the stupid things I did. So I thought moving here was a good opportunity for me to start over. I believe I've been the person I wanted to be since I moved to Hinamizawa. Isn't it the same with you, Rena? It doesn't matter how you lived in Ibaraki. The important thing is that you're Rena Ryugu. You wanted to be in Hinamizawa, so I don't care about whoever Rena Ryugu was. Yeah, you're right. We can start our life over as many times as we want. We might make a lot of mistakes and hurt ourselves, but that lets us become the people we want to be. You fall once or twice in your life, but that's life. We can't let that beat us down. We have to keep growing. So, I was such an asshole for getting scared of you because of your past. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. When you go through a lot of pain, you can be kinder to others. So, I don't need to know your past, and even if I knew, it shouldn't have changed the way I treated you. But we were fools. We couldn't understand until we went through things like this ourselves. Mion knew that from the beginning. We were such fools. We hurt each other and we made each other cry. So Rena Ryugu is and always will be my best friend forever. When you have to go through a hard time, I'll help you no matter what. Trust me on that. Thank you. I trust you, Keiichi-kun. It's very tragic, but what she said isn't true. She probably didn't mean to lie, but I knew she didn't trust me from the bottom of her heart. My words didn't reach her. I knew that because Rena Ryugu kept telling me to trust her that time. She kept saying those words, while I kept hitting her with the bat, but they still didn't reach me. I don't think I have much time left. But I'll try my best to save Hinamizawa, because wonderful people like you live here. No, Rena. I'm not going to let them take over this village. I'll fight so we can regain the peaceful days we had. I'll defeat their conspiracy. She said that she trusted me, but she didn't understand anything I was saying. Even if I kept telling her that the conspiracy was Takano-san's delusion, it wouldn't reach her. Thank you, Keiichi-kun. Thank you for forgiving me. I do forgive you. I forgive you. So please. So, please forgive me for what I did to you. I'm going to save Hinamizawa, I promise. So, Keiichi-kun, will you help me? I trust you, only you, Keiichi-kun. We can save Hinamizawa together. Rena? Rena! I knew how bad of a corner Rena was driven into. If I was her, I'd be walking around with a baseball bat, thinking every single person around me was my enemy. Rena cared about me so much, but I saw her as my worst enemy. But Rena, you still trust me, even when you're driven into this bad of a corner. I couldn't understand what you were saying. I beat you to death while you kept telling me to trust you. But you're different. You still trust me. You are so... Why are you crying? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll never betray you. I trust you, Rena, so please forgive me. I don't know what you're talking about. You've always believed in me, Kiichi-kun. So I trust you too. I can trust you, right? You're the only one who trusts me, right? Tears fell from my eyes. I sobbed, nodded again and again to answer. Tears welled up in Rena's eyes too. Before I knew it, we were putting our foreheads together with tears in our eyes. Well, I found a way to end this battle. Really? Yeah. I might not stand a chance, but this is the best and only resistance I can think of. Rena? I don't know what you're going to do, but if you do that, we can regain our happy days, right? We can, can't we? We have to, or I'm not going to let you go anywhere. You don't worry, Kiichi-kun. It's going to be a come-from-behind victory, and we'll regain our happy days for sure. I don't know what she had on her mind. It began with delusion and ended with delusion. If I encouraged her too much, she'd twist it into an attack on her. I was like that at the time. I took Rena's goodwill as the complete opposite thing. So I stopped denying her story. This was Rena's battle. It was her lonely battle. She had to fight against her own delusion. The more we tried to help her, the more we drove her into a corner. But I would always be there for her. Whenever she needed help, she could reach me. I wanted to let her know that, so I said just one thing. I'm on your side until the very last moment. No matter what, I'm on your side. You know, I told her to trust me. I knew she couldn't right now. I knew that, but I told her those words anyway, even if she couldn't believe them. And if she tried to smash my head in, I'd say those words. I'd keep saying them. Until I die. Thank you, Kiichi-kun. Everything will be over tomorrow. We'll win for sure. And then we can play around in the club together again. With everyone. We'll return to our happiest times. Although she wished to regain our happy times so badly, I couldn't get rid of the darkness that was controlled her mind. Well, I have to go now. And just so you guys know, that there are alternate versions of this exact storyline in the animes and mangas. Like I said, like the thing with Rika, the manga there gets a little bit darker. She smashes the syringe. But same thing, that anime also goes over. There's a version of this anime that does everything true to the novel. There's also versions of it that have it much more lighthearted, where everyone is saved and everyone lives happily ever after. And there's versions where it goes much, much, much darker than what we are going to see later on in this game. I have to get ready for tomorrow. To tell the truth, I didn't want to let her go. I wanted to stop her even if I had to grab her arm. But I couldn't stop her like that. If I grabbed her arm, she wouldn't trust me anymore. Wait, Rena, what do you have to do to get ready for tomorrow? It's a secret. I might ask you for help later. You'll help me when I do, right? Of course. I nodded strongly so she could tell that I was still on her side. But I didn't know what her come-from-behind victory meant at this point. The first thing I could think of was that she was going to invade the house of Sonzaka family, which she thought was her enemy. So I called Mion to warn her after Rena left. Mion laughed bitterly and said, "Why does everybody want us to be the bad guys so much?" But she understood the situation. It'd be easier if we really did act like the bad guys. It might be better if we tied her down and took her to a hospital. If it comes to that, I guess we have no choice, but I want to believe her until the last second. She still has the strong heart to trust me no matter how badly she's been driven to a corner. She's not like me, so I'm not sure she can defeat her delusion. It's hard for this old man to understand what you and Rika-chan have been talking about these days. Did anything serious happen lately? You can say it happened lately in a way. I killed Mion a couple days after the festival. I'm sorry I've been talking crazily. Anyway, please don't lose confidence in Rena, alright? You know I won't. Anyone can catch a cold of the heart. Sometimes. It just happened to Rena this time. That's all. Hinamazawa Syndrome Roulette. But I'm sure she'll get better soon, and we can laugh about this later. It's not as bad as you think, Kei-chan. That silly Oishi admitted his mistake. He doesn't even know about you. Know what? So, we'll just say Rena overreacted a little bit, and this will be over. Really? You really think you can do that? Did you forget that I'm the next head of the Sonozaki family? I have both the skill and the power to do that. This old man had a meeting with Oishi at a restaurant today, and we cleared up the misunderstandings. Oishi was shaking in fear the whole time. Hey, I'm pretty good, don't you think? Mion bragged about her achievement, laughing loudly. I could tell she was exaggerating a little. Anyway, compared to the sense of impending doom, Rena seems to be feeling the others seem to be taking it rather easy. It was all up to Rena now. If she understood everything, she can go back to the peaceful world she wished for. We were waiting for her to reach out to us, just like we did by the abandoned car at the garbage dump that day. Rena, I couldn't win. But I know you can, because you're the one who told me to have faith until the end. So I know you can win. That didn't mean that she could literally win the last battle she was talking about earlier, but Rena would win. She'd win and she'd regain her peaceful life. Last night. Get the very distinct feeling that something bad's about to happen. She's just very sick. Tomorrow is the day. Oh, you mean the day we die? It's going to end up the same way this time, just like last time. I don't know about that. It's been very similar to the last one, but there were some things that were different too. Keiichi remembers what happened. That's impossible. There's no way he could remember. I mean, there's no way he could know. The more you say it, that it's absolutely impossible, the more it makes me feel like this is a real miracle. There's nothing we can do. It's going to end up the same way again. I'm not sure about that. Yes, it will. Everything will be over when the Higurashi cry. Was it all going to end anyway? The more often you throw a die, the closer the total will get to the average. When you throw a die 100 times, even if a miracle happens, and you get a 6 twice or 3 times in a row, the total average is at an end. That's a fact of statistics. When you throw a die 100 times, the total number ranges to 100 to 600. The more you throw, the greater likelihood that number will converge on the average. But the truth is, the more you throw, the more possible outcomes you create. There are 500 different futures you can create by throwing a die 100 times. There are 5,000 futures you can create by throwing a die 1,000 times. There might be one future among them enables you to actually finish this never-ending game of dice. Keiichi showed me a miracle, and it taught me that it's not a waste effort to keep throwing the die. Don't give in. To something like an average. You think we'll never have a different ending, don't you? I can tell because it's written all over your face. I think so too. I think we're going to have the same ending this time again. But I'm not going to give up hope until I threw the die for the last time. Keiichi taught me that. Something is going to be different this time. I'll try to believe that. Rika, you're a very strong person. Yeah, I know. That's because I'm a lot younger than you. Yawn. Rika? Meep? Why are you still awake? It's not good to stay up so late. I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep, so I was just looking at the stars. I'm going to bed now. Please do. Good night, Rika. Good night, Satoko. Rika was talking to Oyashiro-sama, also known as Hanyu. We briefly woke up. Satoko. Walking with only Mian to school made me miss Rena a lot. What's wrong, Kei-chan? Why are you looking around? What? Oh, nothing. It was the same old path to school, but I felt nervous for some reason. I wonder what Rena meant when she said she was going to win a come-from-behind victory last night. I couldn't stop feeling like something dangerous was going to happen. Rena thought Mian was one of her enemies. She could be lying in wait to attack Mian with a knife. Don't worry. Rena isn't going to do something as rash as that. Even if she does, I can protect myself. Mian said it brightly, as if trying to tell me she wasn't afraid of anything. But I couldn't be optimistic like her, because I knew exactly what Rena was going through. Rena must be determined by now, and she probably wouldn't mind dying fighting against Mian if she was going to win anyway. Of course, that didn't mean she was definitely going to take the violent action. But I couldn't deny the possibility either. This old man is more concerned about the reason why Rena went crazy all of a sudden. Was there any reason? I remembered the tragedy. I couldn't remember what made the world go crazy. But I remember we got lost in the awfully scary world. It started with small things, and those small things continued to pile up, one after another. If you thought about it calmly, you'd laugh because it was really a stupid thing. But once those little tiny things, stupid things started to bother you, you couldn't ignore them. It was that kind of disease, if you could call it one. But there must have been a reason. There must have been a reason that made the world go crazy. But it must have been a small thing. Such a small thing you couldn't even notice. And unfortunately, the reason was very difficult to understand, and you wouldn't be able to figure it out until you died. I have a relative who is a doctor. He said if you have a tumor in a specific part of your brain, it can change your personality, make you a totally different person. People who suffer from this disease used to be considered haunted by devils or possessed by foxes. People dramatized it like it was something occult. You mean Rena is suffering from a physical disease in her brain? I mean, yeah, she technically is. Hinamizawa syndrome. It's technically what killed the damn construction worker. In her case, it might be better to say that it's a mental disease. Rena was upset and mentally unstable because of the murder at Rina and Teppei. At a time like that, the stupid Oishi told her about what happened to Tomotaki-san in an exaggerated way. I think Oishi-san and Tomotaki-san's scrap Takano-san's may have many things in common. Really, like what? Well, he believes in the serious mysterious death of Hinamizawa, but that's a delusion, isn't it? I mean, something actually did happen 5 years in a row, but I think there was no series of murders in the first place. It was true that the mysterious incidents happened in 5 years in a row, but they were each solved individually. It was the same as a past you didn't need to talk about. We thought of them as a series of mysterious deaths, which is why we thought something was going to happen this year too. It led us to think that there was a conspiracy, and that the Sonozaka family was behind it. We connect those things to a series of mysterious deaths, but we shouldn't do that in the first place. Just like I tried to keep my distance from Rena when I found out about her dark past. Wasn't everybody trying to keep their distance from the dark past of Hinamizawa? Takano-san's scrapbooks are a good example. She dramatized both recent incidents and old cruel history, and she made feasible stories out of them, saying that the Sonozaka family was behind it all. Oishi-san did the same thing. He was so convinced that the Sonozaka family was behind it all, that it was making him interpret things the wrong way. In that sense, we could say Oishi-san believed in the same delusion as Rena. I think the Sonozaka family is partially accountable for that because you guys act like you're behind it every time something happens. In this village, people think it's the doing of the Sonozaka family whenever something strange happens. It's like a magic word that makes everything settle down. It's like those people who say they can explain all phenomena in the world with plasma. Oh, and what's that supposed to mean? Are you saying all this is the Sonozaka family's fault? Exactly. It's all your fault. So I'll call you Plasma Mion from now on. Haha, that sounds like a wrestler's name. Well, I like professional wrestlers. Hey, K-chan, do you know what abdominal stretching is? So stop it, I don't want to wrestle with you in this freaking hot weather. No, that hurts. Stop! Good morning, Keiichi-san. Good morning.